So Republicans behind the scenes are admitting what we all saw, that Donald Trump's speech over the weekend was front to back pathetic. It was a disaster. Trump looks sick. He's clearly got cognitive decline. He can't get a sentence done. He's whining about the last election. He's whining about maybe going to prison. And what Republicans are afraid of is that this sort of traps them, because Donald Trump is clearly still the big cheese in the Republican Party, but he doesn't have the strength to run in 2024 and do so effectively. This clip really underlines how they're trapped.
He's very relevant because as the leader of the party, he continues to stoke the big lie. He continues to stoke this anti-democratic, illiberal attack on our democracy, if you will. And that's a very dangerous moment we're living in. And so it's relevant because it continues to, it needs to be checked. But where I do strongly agree with Don is what I saw last night was a boxer who'd lost a step. And if you're Kristi Noem, if you're Ron DeSantis, if you're Mike Pompeo, I think you saw your opening last night. You know, Donald Trump is not going to make a declarative statement about his intentions in 2024, probably for a couple of years now, because there's no benefit for him to rule it out at this point. But what we saw last night was a former president who likely will remain former because he just doesn't have what he brought to the party, say, 5 years ago.
And so what it said there was very clear, and that's a former Republican member of the House. He basically said, look, fundamentally, Trump is still the one in charge. No one reasonable will deny that. Whether we like it or not, Trump controls the Republican Party, yet he clearly looked like he's weaker there. He looks significantly worse than he was in January, and even in comparison to his CPAC speech just really a few weeks ago in broad terms. And so what right now Republicans are sort of in no man's land. On the one hand, no one right now is willing to take up the mantle and challenge Trump, because if they fail, he will end their career. Challenging Trump right now and failing ends you. But if you don't challenge him, some anti-democratic thug is going to go into the next election rambling and not making any sense and clearly being on the downslide, and he's going to sink your chances of winning because people don't like him. And I'm not saying this because I want Trump replaced by Noem or DeSantis or any of these types, because they're just as bad as Trump. They hate democracy just as much as Trump, except they're younger and likely smarter and more effective. What I'm saying is this is an opportunity, a hope for the Democrats, that the Republicans are trapped. If Trump just went away, or if Trump remained strong and vibrant, those would be good things for the Republicans because they could unify. But with Trump being a real question mark, yet still strong enough to hold off challengers, he may trap his own party with a bad candidate going into the next election, going into the next midterms. And the Democrats need that help because historically, you need a minor miracle to not lose Senate seats and not lose House seats at the midterm or even in the 2024 election. So this is a big hope for the Democrats. Donald Trump, his own party, they're trapped. Trump's patheticness traps them. And if that brings a Democratic respite in 2022 and 2024, that's good for America.